Alright, so in this episode, we finished the exhaust. What up YouTube, and welcome back. Today we're going to finish hopefully the exhaust and trying to get the turbo mounted up, get everything welded all together, and hopefully what I'll do before I get the turbo installed is run the car on the single pipe outlet. Alright, so as you can see, nothing much has changed since yesterday. I left everything the way it was. Still got everything mounted and mocked up for the most part. Today we're gonna figure out this end to the turbo and then finally get everything all tacked and welded together, and we're gonna hear it run. Okay, so basically the plan now is to take a pipe that I have, go from there, just get it around just enough so I can get it to fit in that little area right there. Okay, so the idea that I have to go from here that way without restrictions and a good flow, and basically to make it look good, would be this U-pipe. What I would do is cut the U-pipe in half. This end has the slip fit, so the slip fit would go into this end. This end would be turned literally 180 degrees. So what it would look would be, you have the bend, the other bend that I would need, and since this is going down, because I needed to clear the axle that's right here, cut this in half, take the other half that I would have, and basically go up with it right into the turbo. So let's take this pipe and cut it in half and test fit. Alright, so we got it set. Let's hope my eyeballing works again. Make sure we're good at how I want it. Luck time. Alright, so now that we got them cut in half, let's test fit these up and see how they look. And if they look good, we'll clean them up, get off all the burrs, and tack weld them into the position that I need. Alright, so here we have the two halves of our U-pipe. This end has the slip fit, so let's slip it onto here. That'd be the plan, to go up to get it just underneath the axle, get it as close to the axle as I can. So take this piece and get it so that it's hard to see on camera, but it goes up and then straight. But what it looks like, this part, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna take this piece and cut it maybe to about right there. Again, just eyeballing it, not a professional. Let's go get this cut. Okay, so I went ahead and marked, just by eyeballing it again, where I'm going to cut it. So let's set it in the vise, get to cutting. test fit this up and see how it looks. So we got our original cut pipe with the slip fit. I'm gonna slip that on. And then here's the new pipe that we just cut again. Cut it down to size. And alright, so now this is what the position is gonna be once it's all welded together. It's hard to get a good view trying to hold everything as it's loose, but you get the idea. It comes from underneath the axle up and flipped 180 degrees so that the turbo is literally going to sit in this general area. Alright, so now that we got both pieces cut, both mocked up, everything looks good. So this part is going to go over the tack welded part, and then it's going to be turned slightly, and then this one will get tack welded onto it just like that. But let's go ahead and clean off all the burrs, clean off the inside, and then get them ready to get tack welded. Let's just grind off these burrs. Alright, so this is the smaller one. Cut, grind it down, nice and smooth. Still a lip on the inside, but I'll get that off camera with a little Dremel tool. On to the next one. And if you can't hear it, it's pouring down rain outside, so I got the garage door closed. Next one. Alright, same thing with that one. Nice and grinded down on the outside, off camera. Get rid of the lip and the burrs on the inside. Okay, so now we got both pieces grinded down. Test fit it one more time. That one goes there. Slightly on an angle. This one goes on top. Same thing, slightly on an angle. Check to make sure, get my marker. Mark it so I can tack weld it. Got right here, you got it right. Alright, so now that we got them marked, there's one mark, there's the other mark. Let's go get them tack welded, and let's see if my eyeballing has worked again. Alright, so I got them lined up perfectly so that I can just throw a quick tack on there and hope everything still stays lined up together. Welding time. Alright, looks like it's tack welded into place. Let's go test fit it back on the car and make sure it all lines up good. Alright, so here we go. Here is the mocked up, almost final position of how it's going to fit. As you can see, there's enough room on each side so where it won't hit anything. Then it goes up and right there is where the turbo will sit and come out there. So again, the eyeballing has worked. See if I can get a whole shot now. So you got all the way there to there to the turbo. Now on to mocking up the turbo. Alright YouTube, let me show you what I got for you guys right now. I had a big oopsie. I got ahead of myself, and when I tried to mock up the turbo with the pipe that I tacked together, it didn't fit up there. So that's where the turbo is going to go. Now I wanted to mount it like closer towards the back where the exit's at, and it wasn't going to work. So I went ahead and drilled and tapped 3 holes. So I got 1, 2, 3 drilled and tapped. I got a piece of angle iron that's going to go right there. Those are already drilled and been tapped, and then the turbo is going to get mounted to the bottom of there. I'm going to have to cut that out and round it off so that it matches the bolt holes on the turbo. So that's where I'm at so far. Alright, so here was the exhaust that was the U that I did more or less weld together to get it so that it stayed in its shape, and didn't work. So now this or this, I don't know which one yet. Once I get the turbo up, I'll determine, is what's going to come off the exhaust side on the turbo and go to the rest of the exhaust. So once I get the turbo mocked up and it's basically in its final position, we're going to figure out which one of these is going to be the inlet to the exhaust. Okay, so this is what I've been working on pretty much for quite a while now, is the turbo bracket, where I'm going to have the turbo sit. So there is the outlet for the exhaust. There's where the turbo will sit, and then I have the pipe basically taken down for now, but it's gonna come from there, make its little turn, and basically 90 degree right up into the turbo. So basically what I'm gonna do right now is just spray paint that black. Alright, so there's the final look for the turbo bracket. It's got 3 bolts, so you got 1, 2, 3, and I welded it basically all the way across so that I think this thing is probably sturdy enough to hold me. It ain't going nowhere. So now it's time to finally mount the turbo in its final spot, and then we'll clock it to figure out the exhaust and the intake side. Alright, so this is where we're at. We got the turbo mounted in its final position. Look at them budget terrible welds, but don't care, not a pro. And kind of switched up the position of the exhaust pipe, so it kind of makes almost a right angle, because the way I have the inlet is kind of going to be close to the axle, so it just bends right into there. So we're going to tack up the inlet pipe and then continue with the exhaust, and then we'll get to the oil feed, and the oil return, and then the oil feed, which is on the top and the back. Okay, so we got our T4 flange, we got our pipe that's going to come off the turbo. I already got the ground clamp on. We got the marks. We got 1 and 2. So we're going to tack this up and hope that the eyeballing continues. Okay, so might not be the greatest welds. Actually, they're shit welds, but whatever. It works, it holds, it's not going anywhere. Let's go test fit this up and see how it looks. Okay, so now that we got our piece that goes from the T4 flange on the turbo, I got it angled so that when it comes off the turbo, it's gonna go straight that way. So let's just do a little quick bolt down, quick test fit, and then we're gonna have to remake the pipe that goes from here to the other pipe because the two that I had won't work. So let's test fit this one up, and then we'll see what we can do to make the turn right here. So I only got 2 bolts, I go get more. But alright, that's one in. Let's get the last one. Okay, so that's what it looks like bolted in. It's got a little bit of movement to it so that, you know, the shifting with the car and the moving. So now I have that this little exhaust piece right there just holding it so it's far away from the drive shaft so I can get an estimate from here to just right here. But I have to make a slight turn, so it's got to come from here, kind of make a turn, and then almost like an S shape to fit into there. So I have another U-shaped exhaust pipe, or 180-degree exhaust pipe, that I'm going to try cutting in half and seeing if I can eyeball the cut and see if I can make it fit. Okay, so we got our U-shaped pipe cut. The eyeball, I hope, is close. We're gonna clean them up off camera, get them all nice and deburred, and then we'll get them test fitted and see how close I am to almost finishing the exhaust. Alright, so here we are. We got the pipes all nice and cleaned down and deburred. Got that one all clean. Now, let's go ahead and start test fitting to see which one is gonna fit from here to here. Okay, so after much figuring out, I think I came to the conclusion that this is gonna work. This is off center a little bit, so step back a little bit. And there we go. The exhaust is basically complete. But I do have another idea, which I do have laying around. Let me show you what my idea is going to be. Alright, so this is what I got. V-band clamps. So what we'll do is we'll take one of each. So we'll get that one there. And we'll get that one there. V-band. And that will be the exhaust, so I have it removable if I ever need to take it off. So now the next step would be to get all of this TIG welded, but not by me because I don't have a TIG welder and I don't know how to pretty much TIG weld at all. So that'll be the next step, getting these TIG welded and then getting everything put back together, and then onto the intake part. Alright, so now we have the exhaust finally tacked into place completely all the way back. So I got a few tacks on that one. So with the 45s and the 90s meet into the Y pipe, going down to the end of the Y pipe. I got a few tacks here and a few tacks there, and then we work our way down to here. That's just going to be held down by a clamp for the slip fit. Then we have the turn from the slip fit there with a few tacks in it. That's only burnt because I grinded the hell out of it to make sure that it fits. And then up into the turbo. So now the plan is to take it to an actual shop and get it TIG welded perfectly. And one last thing I wanted to show you guys. This is going to be the spot where the wastegate is going to get welded to, and then I'm going to have the exhaust port go out that way to that way, just in case in the near future I want to switch the bumper to the 0506 bumper where it has the 2 outlets instead of just the 1. Alright YouTube, that's going to do it for this video. The exhaust is complete, just got to get welded all up together, fitted, and that'll be it for the exhaust. Next time when we come back, we're going to move on to doing the intake side all the way up to the engine, to the intercooler. So make sure you like it, subscribe, keep following, share it for everybody, and if you didn't like it, it's too late, you already watched it. Peace!